Refactoring is not just about making code shorter. It's about making it easier to read, test, and change without breaking anything. In this video, I will walk you through a series of refactoring techniques every React developer should know. Based on chapter 6 of my book, Reacting Adding Patterns, you will see me go step by step through a real example using the exactly technique I outlined in the book. We will discuss 5 common Reactor refactoring in this video. Extract variable, replace loop with pipeline, introduce parameter object, decompose conditional, and move function. Extract variable is to give a complex expression a meaningful name to make your code easier to read and reason about. Replace loop with pipeline, turn a manual loop into a more declarative and readable from using array method like map, filter, and reduce. We'll introduce parameter object, group related parameter into a single object to simplify function signatures and improve clarity. And decompose conditional, break down complex if statements into well-named function or variables to make decisions easier to understand. And lastly, the move function will relocate a function to the module where it logically belongs to improve the structure and the reusability. More importantly, you will see the process, how I refactor with confidence using tests and tools to guide every move. Let's get started. Here is the example we are going to use for demonstration purpose. So the ShoppingCart class is a very simple class. It has 3 methods: add item to cart, remove item from cart, and calculate the total price. So nothing wrong with the current code. It works fine, but it has mixed a few responsibility into a single file. That's why we are going to do some simple refactoring. So step 1 will be add a test first. So before touching anything, I write tests. This is the safety net. In this case, we are testing a ShoppingCart class that calculates totals and applies discount when quality exceeds 10. I add test for add item to cart, calculate the total number, remove the item, apply discount. So this is all the critical paths I would like to cover. Now if I have this test, I can refactor without fear, because if I break something, the test will catch it. So let's do adding the test. So I use keyboard shortcuts a lot in my IDE, so I will use that in here as well. I'm currently on the editing mode of the IDE. So if I want to correct something, there are a couple of ways. I can either use the command Shift A to do a create new file like so, or I can do command 1 to navigate to the Explorer area of the IDE, and then do a command N to create something new. Let's say new file. So we can do shoppingcart.test.ts, and then enter. It will create the test file for us. All right, do that. For a normal test, you would describe, and in 8 you do all the test case in assertions. So we will create a new describe block that has some. So in WebStorm there is a what do you call that, live template. So it can insert the describe block for you. So you just simply type DESCR and tab. It will create this block, describe block, and basically normally you would do a ShoppingCart as a test suite name, and tab again. You can now add in your test case. So you can use, similarly you can use 8. It's a live template as well. You can do insert 8 block and tab. It will insert the test case for you. So you do say should calculate total price, right? So now you can start adding your test case. Because we are testing a class, the shopping cart class, we can do new a shopping cart. So note that it will create it will import the shopping cart class from the TS file. So you can do create this, and then we will need to reference that with a variable. So there is a shortcut here as well. So you can do command option V, which is variable. You can do this, and it will extract a new variable that reference to the expression you just highlighted. So now we call it shopping cart. That's cool. And then we will do shopping cart dot add item to cart. And you can use command P to show the parameter that required by the method. So we need ID, price, and quantity. So let's say ID is 1, price is 2.0, and the quantity is 3. So now if we calculate the price, the result will be 6, right? So let's do this shopping cart calculate total. And again, we can reference this into a variable by select it first and command option V. We can call it total, for example, and then we expect total to equals to 6.0. Right, so this is the simple test to verify what the two behaviors. One is add item to cart, the other is calculate the total. So let's run the test. So I run test in my IDE normally, and also I do that in command line if I have many tests. So now I will do that right in the IDE. I will do that by Control Shift R. And it will run the test with different runners. I will choose the VI test, which you can choose jest as well. So I will do this, should calculate total price. And it runs and passed. That's great. And it's exactly the behavior we're expecting. We can add one more test to check the total price calculation with multiple items. So let's say we are adding another one with ID 2, and the price is, let's say it's 5, and we're adding 2 of them. So it will be 16 in this case. If I run the test again, Control Shift R, it's asking if I want to run this with the VI test. It passed again, and if we move move the cursor to the describe and do another Control Shift R, it will run both tests, and it passed fine. That's cool. And now we're going to add another test to test the should remove item from cart. And we can basically copy this whole thing over, and before the calculation, let's do a remove the number 1 from the list. Now the result should be 10 because we're just calculating the second item. And if we Control Shift R again, it passes. That's cool. And we have already covered, let's check the references. We have already checked the add, remove, and calculate. The discount logic is missing here, so we'll need to add the discount. So we say A8 should discount when eligible, and we will do a similar check here. Let's do this. So if we have 11 item for item 1, the total number shouldn't be 22, right? Because it will be something less than 22. So let's run the test to see what's the actual result. The test failed because the current discount logic is correct. So whatever it returns to us, we assume that's the correct amount. So we'll use 19.8 as the result, and we run the test again by using Control R. It will run all the tests. So now we have checked all the critical passes in our in our shopping cart. So that's great. We have made the safety net setup. Now, if anything we do wrong in during the refactoring, we will know if because we have the test. There are quite a few things we can do better in the existing code. So I guess the first one will be these magic numbers. We can extract these magic numbers into a constant, so we don't have to modify different places. Another thing I think we can do is rename the cart items to simply items because it's already in a cart. That's something I would do normally. But yeah, since this is only a demonstration, you can leave it alone or doing the renaming. So let's assume this is important, like we are changing we want to change the variable into a different name. Let's say cart items, we want to rename that to items. You can simply move your cursor into the variable and then press Shift and F6. That will highlight all the reference to this variable, and there are a few suggestions here. Normally the WebStorm is smart enough to figure out what the variable is about. So where we, like for example in here, items is a great name, so we use items. It will change everything that reference to the items. That's cool. And after that, we can run the test by using Control R. It will run the previous test we just had. It's passing. That's cool. The next refactoring I would like to do is replace loop with pipeline. So in here, it's using a for loop to find the item and create a new list to hold the value of the cart. We can simplify this by using the a filter API from the list. That means we can simply do a filter on the this item. We can do this the items the filter for each item. We want to say item the ID is not equals to the ID we passed in, and then we don't have to use the item to hold that variable. Yeah, that can simplify the code quite a bit. And if we run the test by using Control R, everything passing fine. And the next one is to introduce a parameter object. Our add item to cart using like 3 parameters now, and if we want to extend a little bit more in the future, it's a little bit harder to add one more because the order matters for the list of the parameter. We can apply introduce parameter object, so the method takes the single item object. This reduces duplications, group related data together, and makes the function more adaptable as requirements grow. So let's do that simply. So in WebStorm, it's relatively easy to do that. So you do, so let's say you move your cursor into the method here, and you do a alter enter, and the alter enter will shows up a drop-down list, and it has a few options. For example, we can use convert parameter to object. That's exactly what we want. Also, you can convert parameter to object and introduce a new type. But this type has already been there, so we don't have to do this. We just convert the parameter to object. And this object is actually already defined above, which is item. We can simply do that like so. And if we go to the test, you can see for all the reference of all the usage of add item to a cart, it's already updated as the object. That's great. I think WebStorm is smart enough to do the update in the test and all the usages. That's a very useful feature. And if we now run the test again, it's still passing. That is great. But our code is a little bit better compared to the previous one. And now we can move on to the next refactoring, which is Decompose Conditional. So the discount logic uses a compound if statement item the quality greater than 10, it will do something. We can extract this check into a named function like is eligible for discount and move the discount logic into that new function. This is called Decompose Conditional, and it makes your conditions self-explanatory. So we can move this if-else check or the business logic into a separate function in here. We can call it apply a discount if eligible. So we can do that by using Command Shift or Command Option M, and it will ask the scope of the function you are extracting. We will move that to the global scope, and we will call it, let's say, apply discount if eligible. And then we can simplify the logic a little bit here by inline this line, and the subtitle will be a const, I think. So the logic is a little bit cleaner. If we rerun the test by using Ctrl R, it will pass, and that's great. We have our logic a little bit better. And now the shopping cart looks like a little bit nicer than before. But remember, the purpose here is just to demonstrate some keyboard shortcuts and the process we are using, like constantly run the test. And then we'll move on to the last refactoring, which is move function. Now that the apply discount if eligible is clean and standalone, we use move function to move it from the current file into a utility module. This keeps your domain logic organized. Shopping cart handles cart behavior, and price logic lives elsewhere. So now we move the cursor to our function and press F6. It will ask, do you want to create a new file? We say yes. Put that to the utils.ts and enter. It says reference to a not exported interface item. So we can extract the item first by using the same extraction, which is F6. We want to move this item's definition to, let's say, types.ts. It will extract the file, move the item definition from the shopping cart to a new file, and also it will update the type definition. And then we can move this function by using F6, move function to a different place. We will put that to utils.ts, and it will import the item from types first and then export the function. So now if we go back to shopping cart and run the test by Ctrl R, it's still passing. That's great. And now the logic in ShoppingCart is much simpler and easy to read and understand. Let's recap what we did. All techniques are from Refactoring by Martin Fowler, and also in my book React and Dependence, I use a lot of these patterns or refactoring techniques. We use the Excel variable, replace loop and with pipeline, introduce parameter object, decompose conditional, move function, and before all of that, we wrote test first. Each step was small and safe. Together, they made the code cleaner, more expressive, and easier to evolve in the future. If you want to see more real-world examples like this, check out Chapter 6 of my book, React Test Patterns. It's written to help React developers take messy code and turn them into something you are proud to maintain. It's available on Amazon and the Pact website. You will find the link in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.